surface for the new graphic, we're going to ask you to remove the factory emblem. Of course, we can cut our graphic out so that you can lay it right over this emblem, but because this emblem can have a variable position, high, lower, forward, or back, that would change the whole spectrum of the graphic that's going to go on the car. So what we're going to do is just remove it, and it's a pretty easy thing to do. Just need to take your time. Your kit's going to come with a small little plastic squeegee like this, and basically what you're going to do is just kind of remove the emblem from the car by separating the tape in the back. Now the kit is going to come with a new piece of tape, so you can remount it either in its original position or in a different position if you like. All you have to do is just kind of sneak this underneath here and separate the tape. If you do this on nice and flat, what happens is the squeegee will go in between the tape and the emblem, and you're not going to scratch the paint or anything like that. It's actually pretty harmless. So you'll just kind of wedge it up like this. So once your emblem comes off, you're going to just kind of thumb this tape off the original one. The kit is going to come with a replacement one. So once you clean that all off, you can just put new tape, and you'll be able to mount this anywhere you like. Okay, we're going to show you how to install the ACC C7 Sport Fade graphic. A couple of things you need to do for preparation in putting in a graphic like this. That is to, of course, remove all the wax or paint treatment that might be on the surface. That will allow the graphic to stick to the car long term, and so you won't have any problems. Second thing is, you got to remove any and all dust particles. And that's not just from your surface area, that's from everywhere. Inside your little lines, you can always have little dirt particles that'll kind of run out into your graphic and ruin your day. You get dirt that kind of comes in from the seams and even in the body seams. So we're going to go ahead and clean that up. We have found for the best solution to install graphics is a full bottle. This is a 25-ounce bottle, and with baby shampoo. Now, baby shampoo is a pure, perfect detergent. That's why it doesn't burn baby's eyes when you use it. It's a pure soap. There's no scent in it. There's no hand softeners. It's straight detergent. What you're going to want to do is fill this all the way up, and then just put in maybe a half a teaspoon of this, and then you'll check it by spraying it to your car and seeing if the water sheets to the paint. If it sheets to the paint, that's going to be perfect. If it beads up, you just put a little bit more soap in so you can get a nice sheet like that. That's perfect. So what we're going to do is, first we're going to remove any dirt particles. You're essentially washing the car right now. You're going to want to kind of get in all your seams. Really, just removing particles. Inside your door jams, all the way up. Door edges. Okay. Now, to check that there's no bumps or blends in the paint or any particles left over, go ahead and wet it and run your hand. Make sure you have no rings on or jewelry. Run your hand over the surface, and you'll be able to feel any imperfections in the paint. And it's really a good idea to do this because after you get your panel on, if there's a little tiny bump in the paint, it's going to really depress you. So you want to make sure this is nice and clean. It is. So now we're going to actually get all the wax and surface treatments off the paint. And there's a lot of chemicals that are available to do something like that. You can use household rubbing alcohol, works pretty good. We use GM General Purpose Cleaner. You can get a wax and silicone remover. You'll find it in most any body shop. It's a really important step because without making sure there's no wax on this car, your graphic long term can start to roll, peel, your edges won't be sealed, permanently sealed to the paint. So it's really important that you scrub this down and you make sure that there's no surface treatments whatsoever. Like I said, rubbing alcohol would probably be the easiest thing for you to find in your house to do this. Now, your kid's going to come to you with a soft felt squeegee like this. If you want, you can go to your auto parts store and get a little bit firmer rubber squeegee. These work great for graphics. Most auto parts stores are going to have a little graphic kit that'll give you a knife and a squeegee and a little water bottle and things. Your kid's going to come to you with a little packet like this. This is an adhesive promoter. This is not a cleaner, but it's an adhesive accelerator. We're going to use this at our seams and at our edges because these particular areas are going to be vulnerable to rolling. You know, with weather and wind and road grime and stuff, this can actually, over time, have a tendency to want to peel out. So by applying a thin bead of this promoter to these edges, all your seams and your final back edge, you kind of ensure that the graphic is going to stay locked onto the body, you know, permanently adhered. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We have that same chemical in this bottle here. And what you're going to do is just run a little bead in here like so. Inside your seams. Back edge. Now you're actually ready to install the panel. Now, what I like to do with something like this is to actually lay our graphic on, you know, kind of let it cling to the body, peel the back paper off, and wet it as you're peeling it. Now, before you put your graphic on the body, you want to make sure that it too is nice and clear and free from any contaminants or particles. So you're going to dust the paper towel, and you'll take the graphic, and you're just going to want to make sure that it is free from any contaminants. Okay. All right, we're ready. So we're going to spray this down with our solution. Set our graphic, and we use the car as kind of a springboard for the graphic. Now it's very important that your hands are perfectly clean. You don't want to have greasy hands or, you know, particles in your fingernails. That's really going to kind of you know, ruin your day when you're applying this. So you also want to touch the graphic, like maybe just with your fingernails. You don't want to put fingerprints in the glue or anything like that. So you're just going to kind of pull it like so. Make sure you're nice and saturated. Then you flip this. Now, again, especially in your clear areas, you don't want to put any fingerprints in there. So you got to very delicately kind of pinch it with your fingernail and flip this like so. Now, kind of position it where it goes. This particular one is designed to go right on along the body seam. Right up to the front seam. Now, kind of for your soft surface, you can go ahead and squeegee this down. You want to have it, you know, nice nice and slippery, so you can really slip all that water, that air out from behind it. Then you're going to go in and just kind of really firmly squeegee this. To once you get your graphic initially set, go and clean off all this water. When this soapy water dries on your car, it's really kind of difficult to take off. So you just want to go ahead and kind of get all this off. Essentially, just basically wash the car. At this point, you can take a look and see if you've got any water deposits or any air bubbles, a few things in here. We'll go ahead and hard press those out. We're going to use a little bit more of a firmer squeegee here, a little hard plastic one that's also going to come in your kit. You don't want to use a hard plastic squeegee directly on the surface, you'll scratch it. So if you line it with paper towel, it works pretty good to remove and soak up any additional water that you might have. Looks like this is going on really nice. Now, if you should happen to leave a little too much water somewhere, and it kind of gets trapped in there, you can put a little tiny hole in it to leak the water out, or you can just be patient and let it dry. What's going to happen as it cures, it may cause like a little water pocket or water blister, which will eventually actually evaporate out. You can just be patient and leave that, or you can just kind of take your knife and kind of put a little tiny people. I like to try not to actually puncture any part of the graphic. So now that we're all in, see it's nice and smooth. Now we're going to just go ahead and trim it. Next step we have is to go ahead and set all our edges, trim our panels so that they wrap into the seams, and inspect everything, make sure everything is going correctly. Now I like to run my blade on the back edge of the front section so it's not leading into the wind, and then take this edge that does lead into the wind and roll it over the edge of the door. This way, you know, through hard weather, driving conditions, over time, your graphic's not going to have a tendency to want to kind of roll out of that. So that's pretty easy to do. You want to run the back of your blade gently against the edge of your fender. That will allow you to make a nice, smooth, and even cut. So what you're going to do is just kind of start like so, and then just run it gently down. Okay. Now that will allow you to really mold your seams in place. One of the best ways to go ahead and set this quickly is to use a heat gun. You can use a common household hair dryer if you don't have a heat gun. This is how we do it here in the shop. We're going to warm this. Now you don't want to apply too much heat and melt the graphic. Remember, it's only vinyl material, so what you're just going to do is just warm it so that you can go ahead and set the edges quickly. You don't use the heat, you can do it without a heat gun, it just takes a lot longer. So, as you can see, softening this up. This will allow us to kind of roll in. Okay. front end is cut exactly to shape, so you shouldn't have to do any trimming. And you'll want to make sure that when you set your graphic that you set that line exactly in place. And then use a paper towel, warm this up a little. Go ahead and dry all that rest of that water out. Go ahead and get this set into that seat. Down nicely. Now, your adhesive promoter that we put in that seam is why we're able to set this so quickly. If you didn't use that adhesive promoter, this thing would kind of be popping out. You'd be fighting with it for quite a while. So it's a good idea to set your promoter at all your edges, and you'll be able to get this performance out of that. Okay. Nice. Again, adhesive promoter is why we're able to do this. Get this to set nice like that quickly. Now, back edge, we're going to trim just like we did the front edge. I mean, I suppose you could wrap it, but it's really not necessary. With the adhesive promoter in place, you'll get a nice permanent setting of the vinyl. So what you're going to do is, same like you did in the front fender, you're just going to kind of start this here. Run this down. You want to use the backing blade. You don't want to run the blade into the paint or shave your paint at all.